Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about how I finally lost 40 pounds of body fat and how I got myself healthy once and for all. I don't know about you, but for me, you could tell me how I need to eat all day long and I can follow it. The problem for me was the mental aspect. And I suspect that that's the case for a lot of you out there because I do get those messages every now and then on my Instagram account. The mental aspect of you eating a really healthy diet can play a pretty big role in whether or not you're going to stick to something. There were so many times I would tell myself, oh, this isn't going to work out with my lifestyle. The rest of my family isn't vegan, or my friends aren't vegan. How am I going to be able to go do things with them? Maybe I would mess up, one day. So I would go ahead and sabotage the whole thing. Man, did I self-sabotage a lot. I really think self-sabotaging, a healthy way that you want to eat could be a whole separate video, but maybe I'll save that for another time. Let's just go ahead and talk about these. I think it's 5 or 6 reasons or 6 ways that I was able to, just squash these mental holds, these things that were holding me back mentally. Maybe that makes more sense. Let's discuss those and I can help give you some insight on how to just get rid of them and start eating, finally, this healthy lifestyle that you've always wanted. Okay, so the first thing I did to help me finally stick to this way of life, a whole foods plant-based diet, lose 40 pounds of fat, and finally get myself healthy, was I quit going out to eat. Yes, I know. A lot of you love going out to eat. It's social, it's what you do. You gotta stop it for a little while. You got to give yourself a chance to let this stick. And that includes sit-down restaurants, fast food, sandwich shops. I used to always tell myself, oh, a sandwich shop, I could get a veggie sandwich at a sandwich shop. That's not technically fast food. Yes, it is. It's fast food. Stop eating outside of the house and eat in your own house. Cook your own food, and like I said, give yourself a chance. For me, I think it was 3 months. This was what I wanted to do, okay? So if you think 3 months is too much, or too little, you adjust where you need to adjust. But for me, I said 90 days, we're not gonna go out to eat. My husband could go out to eat if he wanted. He loves eating out so much, I don't think it's a problem for him to go by himself, but he actually didn't go out to eat at all. And it helped us both really get in a better habit of eating regularly at home and getting healthier. The food at your home, minus oil and butters and animal products, of course, the food at your home, whole plant foods, those are the healthiest foods that you are going to come in contact with, unless you're at a market with fresh veggies everywhere. Yeah, but Tia, what about those vegan, plant-based restaurants out there? Those are awesome. I am so happy they exist. However, I can almost guarantee you that if you look or find out, what they're actually cooking those meals with, I promise you there is oil in there, okay? And oil, no matter what kind of oil it is, it clogs our arteries. You don't need oil. So again, stay home, give yourself a chance to really get in the groove of things at home, and I promise you, it's gonna help you out. You don't wanna go out and be tempted. I don't think I have to say it, but I will. Stay at home, make your own food. Okay, the next one is stop caring about what other people may think about your lifestyle change. For the longest time, number one, I was assuming that my friends and family, more so my friends, would think, oh, she's not eating like me. I'm not going to invite her anywhere. Maybe they don't, but I think the ones that really care about me still do. So even them, I was thinking oh, I'm not going to get invited to places because people are going to feel that it's weird that I'm eating so differently than them, or they're going to feel like they're not going to have food for me to eat. And you you gotta stop thinking that way. These friends of yours, this family of yours, if they love you enough, and I'm sure they do, they're going to support you no matter what. What do they say in a relationship? One of the most important things is communicating. So after thinking like, okay, I need to stop worrying about what my friends and family are gonna think. After I kind of got through those thoughts, I then decided I'm gonna communicate with them. I'm just gonna tell them, hey, listen, this is very important to me. Most of them knew that it was, because for as long as my friends knew me, or as my whole almost life with my family, they knew how passionate I was about eating healthy and eating a whole foods, plant-based lifestyle. So once I actually decided, okay, I'm going to communicate with them, I'm going to tell them, this is how I'm gonna eat. Don't feel like, you have to have food for me. Don't feel like I can't be invited. Things like that. Once I started talking about that, everything that I was assuming in my mind diminished. It went away. And guess what? It wasn't a problem. And if you find that it is a problem with your family or friends, family's a little bit harder, but let's say your friends, if you find that you changing your lifestyle to a healthier plan is a problem for them, are those the kind of friends that you really want in your life? No, probably not. And the same goes for your family. Now, family is a little bit harder because they're closer to you. There may be times where your family doesn't agree with a lifestyle change that you're doing, but you have to look inward. This is something that you're probably really passionate about, like I was, and we have to stick to our guns. If we know this is the right thing for us, this is the right thing for us, for you, for me. And what happens is that when you start to change physically, mentally, emotionally, when those things start to get better, you start to feel better, you start to look better. And I'm not talking about weight loss. I'm just talking about, your skin clearing up and just looking, meaning like your confidence. Gosh, my confidence went up tremendously since moving over to this lifestyle. So when all of those things start to happen, it's very interesting the way that your family and friends, how they view you and how they view what you're actually doing. So listen, if this is something that means a lot to you, you've got to stop worrying about what other people think and just do it, okay? Just do it. And I promise, after a couple months, you're not going to be sorry that you listened to yourself and you stuck to your guns and you just did it. Okay, so the third thing, since, we're on the topic of friends, I quit going out with my friends. Now, that doesn't mean I quit relationships with my friends. I quit talking to my friends. I quit Marco Poloing my friends. I love to Marco Polo. I just mean I quit doing social things with my friends. And that goes for if there was anything social with my family that kind of falls in line with going out to restaurants. I just stopped doing it. Again, I made sure to communicate that, I was going through a big lifestyle change, and it wasn't that I didn't want to be with my friends, but I needed the time. I needed the time to let this thing set in. And I knew that if I went to a social setting, especially with friends, because I am a very social person and I like to get, pretty loud if you can't tell. So I knew going to a social event, I was going to start drinking a lot, which then in turn would cause me to, eat bad foods. And it just isn't a great idea to go out socially, in my opinion. Now, you could feel very differently about this, but this is a video about what I did to stick to eating this way and how I lost all the weight I lost and how I got healthy. So I'm just telling you what I did. And for me, it wasn't a great idea to go do things with friends or family that were very social, or that involved alcohol or eating out or really, food anywhere. So that is a hard tip, I think, for a lot of people to follow. I know it might seem a little unrealistic, but hey, we're in a quarantine, right? I mean, for the most part, this is the time where you can actually probably make this stick a little bit more than any other time. For me, we weren't in the quarantine when, I started eating this way, so I did have to find it in me to just tell myself, hey, this is the best thing for you. I know you want to go out, Tia. I know you want to go have fun with your friends, but they probably understand. You can catch up. You're not going to be left out forever, So try to find it within you to not go out socially with friends or do any kind of family gatherings where there's going to be food. And if there is going to be food, because I know family gatherings are kind of hard, if there is going to be food, take your own food with you, okay? Eat beforehand, take your own food. And again, don't care what people think. Don't care. This is for you, not them. This is your new lifestyle. So take food with you or eat very filling foods beforehand so you're not tempted. But all in all, just try not to go. Again, how long? It just really depends for you. For me, it was about 3 months, and I did it for 3 months. And, it kind of just, by that time, I could go anywhere, and it wasn't really a big deal. All right, so in talking about the social scene, I also gave up alcohol. Now, this is not just socially. This was at home, too. I knew that just from experience drinking, if I was to have an alcoholic beverage, whether that's beer or wine or a low-calorie mixed drink, whatever it might be, I knew, number one, that was empty calories, but number two, I knew it was going to make me, make bad decisions. And I'm talking mostly about food decisions, bad food decisions. So I told myself I was going to give up alcohol for a while. Again, 3 months seemed to be a common thing for me. But let me tell you what happened with the whole alcohol thing. So I think I actually gave up alcohol for about 4 or 5 months, I told myself. It was longer than the, not going out to a restaurant or not going to a social event with friends. So I think it was about 4 or 5 months. And when I started going back to social events, okay, I wasn't drinking alcohol. I found myself getting really anxious. And this was strange to me. I didn't understand what was going on. Because I was, and I still am, but, I'm a social person. Like, why am I having anxiety about going out? I needed alcohol to make myself feel better, okay? And I realized that's what was going on. Before we left the house, I was wanting alcohol to relax me because I knew I wasn't gonna have any alcohol there. And when I got there, I wanted alcohol to make myself feel comfortable around people. And anyway, I had been living this way for a very long time. I relied on alcohol to be social with people, to have a meaningful conversation. I used to think that I needed alcohol to give me the guts to maybe give my opinion or be fun. I needed it to be me, and that made me really upset. And so I then decided, oh no, I'm not having alcohol anymore. I'm done. And let me tell you, it was one of the best decisions I had ever made for myself in my life. And I didn't need that stuff to be social, to have intellectual conversations. And I gotta say, maybe I thought that I did before because of my diet, because of my very poor diet. I always felt foggy in the brain. I was sleepy a lot. And so maybe I thought I needed alcohol to kind of pep me up again and give me my bubbliness back. But now that I had been on a whole foods, plant-based diet, my mind cleared up. My brain was not foggy anymore. I was sleeping better at night. I wasn't so tired anymore, all from eating these amazing plants, okay? So once all this started happening and I was realizing how on fire I was in person without alcohol, that became addicting to me. The not having alcohol became amazing. And now when I go anywhere, the thought of even having 1 or 2 sips of alcohol is totally not appealing, because I don't want to ruin what I got going on with these plants. And I'm not telling you to never drink again, but to get you grooving and sticking to this way of life, I would not drink alcohol for a while. And then once things get normal, have yourself a glass here and there, a glass of wine if you want. When you have control of the way that you're eating, go for it. Moving on, let's talk about the scale, okay? Now, I am not saying I don't weigh myself, because I do. I am just saying you've got to weigh yourself correctly if you are going to get on the scale. And what I mean by that is I have found, through the help of my amazing, awesome friend, Ryan Adams at naturalweightlossmastery.com. He actually helped me so much in the beginning of my weight loss journey. I learned from him an amazing way to track my weight, and that was taking an average for the week and comparing it to the average of the following week. And that's how you find if you lost any weight or not. We don't want to be tracking the everyday weight or the everyday number on the scale. Why? Because we fluctuate so much, especially women. Water weight can go up and down so much. If you have a lot of salt the day before, the next day you're gonna weigh, a pound or 2 more. Let's take women, for example, with our cycles. We are up and down, and let me say, this girl right here is up and down. When I first started this journey, if I would have started weighing myself on a day-to-day basis, I would have noticed my weight going up and down. And what would happen? You want me to tell you what happened? I would tell myself, this isn't working. This isn't working. And I would jump ship that quickly without giving this way of life even a chance. Perfect example for you. 2 weeks ago, me and my family, right before school started, went on a vacation. I packed all of my vegan, whole foods, plant-based foods that, I was able to take with me. A lot of them are pre-packaged. They're healthy, but they have a lot of sodium in them, okay? I wasn't thinking that. I wasn't remembering that they had sodium in them. Anyway, we're on the trip. I'm, eating my foods. I'm doing the right thing. I'm barely eating as much as I eat when I'm here at home. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, when I get home, I'm going to be less on the scale than I was when we left. I was so excited about that. I couldn't wait to get home. And we were exercising like crazy. We were walking a ton. We were going up flights of stairs constantly every day. We get home. The next morning, I get on the scale. I'm 4 pounds heavier. Yes, 4 pounds heavier. Did I freak out? No, because I knew that I did not gain 4 pounds of fat. That's almost impossible. So I didn't freak out because I knew, okay, I went, oh yeah, a lot of sodium in those prepackaged meals. Then I looked at my weight tracker. It was 2 weeks after I got my period, so I also was holding on to more water weight because of that. And then what happened 4 days later? Guess what? On the scale, I was 5 pounds less than I was that day that I weighed myself, and I was 4 pounds more. So there are all kinds of things that come into play with the weight that we actually are on the scale. It doesn't necessarily mean that that is, your weight. The best way to track your weight, if you want to weigh yourself, is, like I said, you take an average from 1 week to the next. Pick 3 consecutive days from the week. So I like to weigh myself on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so I just write those weights down. Then I take an average of those 3 weights, and that's my weight for the week. Then the next week rolls around. I weigh myself on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I add all those weights up, I take that average, and I compare that to the week before. And wouldn't you know, usually it's a couple ounces less. Sometimes it's 1 pound, sometimes it's 3 pounds. It just depends. But I'm not being frustrated by that day-to-day number on the scale, which goes up and down all the time. Okay, and last but not least, this was a big one for me. You've got to stop binge eating. When I would feel sorry for myself, I would go binge eat. When I would weigh myself on the scale, okay, and I was 1 pound more the next day than I was the day before, I would go binge eat. We've got to stop binge eating, but we've got to stop feeling sorry for ourselves or caving because we messed up. Mistakes happen. We are not perfect. The only perfect person is the Creator Himself. So stop thinking that things are going to go perfect, because they're not. That doesn't mean, or that doesn't give you an excuse to go shove your face in the pantry with all the things that you told yourself you weren't going to have. You've got to stop doing that. How did I do that? I replaced my need to binge with something better. A lot of times I would say, okay, I'm going to go have an apple, or I'm going to go have a cucumber, something that wasn't sounding that great to me. I didn't tell myself no on the binging. I just said, I'm going to go do this first. And if I still want to binge, I'll have to figure it out then, okay? And wouldn't you know, when I ate that apple, I didn't want to binge. I didn't want to binge eat. I didn't want to quit the diet. I started to actually be a little bit realistic in my mind. Another thing that helped me when I really wanted to give up and throw the towel in and go shove a bag of chips down my mouth, I would go for a walk around the block. I went and breathed fresh air. I went and cleared my mind. And again, what happened? When I got back home, I didn't really feel the need to binge. So I replaced those feelings that I was having, those feelings that were tying me to food, those feelings that were tying me to throw in the towel in. I replaced them with a healthier option, whether that be a healthier food option, a healthier mental option. You got to find a way to replace those feelings that you're having with good things, and before you know it, you won't want to do it anymore. Let's stop feeling sorry for ourselves. Let's try to stay positive. Let's try to replace these ties to bad things. Let's try to replace them with good things, and I think it's all gonna be good. So that is it for me today. It is Sunday. I have a lot to do with the family and getting ready for school tomorrow. So excited about that. Not only for me, but for my kids and for them to socialize. So that's gonna be awesome. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, let me know, and also let me know some other videos that you would love to see. I am always open for ideas and actually looking for ideas too. If you are on Instagram or even Facebook, if you prefer Facebook, make sure you follow me over at hungry.vegan.mama. I am always posting things that I am eating on a daily basis, things that keep me full and satisfied, just delicious, easy meals. Because listen, mama ain't got time to be spending, in the kitchen, cooking, and then cleaning everything. So thank you again, and I'll be seeing y'all next Monday. Y'all have a good day. Bye.